Hello and welcome to the Chena River State Recreation Area. We're about 40 miles outside of Fairbanks, Alaska, which is that way. Specifically, we're at the Compo Trailhead because we're going to do an overnight solo trip tonight to the Compo Cabin. It's about 2 miles up the trail behind the camera here. Uphill, not too far, but don't underestimate how long it takes to cover distance on snowshoes because it is winter, snow trail. Add to that the fact that I've got like 100 pounds worth of stuff that I'm taking out there with me. And if you're wondering how I could possibly have 100 pounds of stuff for an overnight, more than half of it is firewood because I don't know how much wood's going to be available at the cabin. This is a forest, of course, but other people stay at this cabin too, and they may have harvested all the local firewood. So I'm just going to drag it in, and whatever I don't use tonight, I'm going to leave up there for the next person. So the trip out will be like half the weight that we're taking in, but we got a lot of weight to drag in on my sled here. It is 5:33 right now. The sun is scheduled to set at I think like 5:46, so it's going to be a dark hike up to the cabin. It'll probably take an hour or more. It's also 19 degrees Fahrenheit out here right now. Pretty nice actually. We are projected to get to 0 degrees Fahrenheit overnight, so it may be cold in the morning when we leave the cabin. Not even like 50 feet in, we've got our first trail sign here. So, Compo Trail, that's where we're headed. That away. Nice little snowy forest. Most of the snow is off the trees. I think that's because it's been fairly warm lately. Trail junction here. So, Compo Trail straight ahead. Twin Bears Mountain to the right. And there is something that goes to the left, but there's no sign that says what that is. I assume we're following Compo Trail. All right, this ought to be the start of the hill climbing, switchbacking. I think we're basically going to the top of this hill. I think the cabin's up there. Got a couple of switchbacks. Gonna be a little slow hill climbing with this heavy sled behind me, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. It has been easier to pull than you might think so far. I mean, not having the weight would be easier than having it, but having 50 pounds of wood on a sled is certainly easier than having it on my back. This is our first switchback turn we're about to make here. I think we have to make 2 of these. My watch says we're 0.7 miles away from the cabin. So I think we turn around this and go like 3/10 and then turn again and come 3/10 back. And the cabin will be basically straight up the hill from here, but we got to switch back to get there. Coming up on the second switchback here. My watch says 0.29 miles remaining. I think this is the last switchback. And then just basically another 1/4 mile of a hill climb. Oh, well, we made it to the top of the second switchback. And here's where cabin access splits off from the trail. I have no idea where this trail goes, actually. But we want to go this way to the cabin. I think we should be really dang close. I'm not sure how far it is from the trail, but I don't think it's very far at all. Somebody's had a fat bike out here, you can see. Fat tire bike. Those things are kind of cool, and I would like to try one of those out. I think this cabin is new, actually. Does my headlamp get brighter? Is there a headlamp mode that's brighter here? I don't know. I can't really tell what I'm doing with gloves on. Somebody left some wood out here. We're going to be adding to that pile. Okay, let me disconnect from my gear here. I'm just using these little, they were rope loops, they're kind of solid now, they're frozen. we go. Backpack. Snowshoes. Get off! Get off! Okay. All right. Here's our cabin for the night. Let's take a look inside. Oh dang, it's warm in here. Somebody must have stayed in here last night and it's still holding heat. That's nice. Okay. Turned out to be, is my lens fogging up? Might be. Turned out to be an hour and 11 minutes hike, 1.94 miles. Average 1.6 miles per hour. Not as slow as I had worried it would be. That's not too bad. Currently 19 degrees Fahrenheit. That's on the temperature sensor that's still mounted in my backpack outside. So let's take a quick little initial tour. We've got 2 bunk beds. Single over double. Single over double. They are just wood bunks, so you have to bring your own pad. Got a little dining table in the middle and a window. Kitchen prep area. All of these cabins, at least all the ones I've been to, have an emergency fire starting kit. Because these basically also function as emergency shelters for people who are trapped in the wilderness in the winter. This is a pretty nice drying rack. I haven't seen one of these at a cabin yet. Usually they have like strings, clotheslines, and hooks to dry your clothes over the fire, but you could put all kinds of stuff on that. That's cool. And then the wood stove itself, of course. We're gonna have to get that running here in a moment. Didn't notice this a moment ago, but there is an indoor thermometer and it's just above 50 degrees in here. That's nice because it won't take me forever to heat this place up. If you remember that cabin trip I did in December when it was 27 below out, it took 2 hours to get the cabin above freezing inside. All right, let me bring my stuff in. Is my lamp oil still a liquid? It is, nice. That minus 27 trip I did in December, my lamp oil was frozen by the time I got to the cabin. I had to heat it up on the stove for like half an hour before I could use it. There we go. A little light to spread around the room now. I like these better than LED lanterns. One, because I just kind of like the ambiance, but it also puts off heat. Now, as far as getting a fire started goes, I brought some Vaseline cotton balls to catch a flame. And of course, we've got plenty of actual logs, but we don't have much in the way of tinder. Like this one thing right here. We could use some more like this. So always bring this little woodworking pocket knife with me in the winter time. We're just gonna shave some tinder off of this log. Now I think if we get it all loaded into the stove here, I think we'll be able to get that to catch using one of our little cotton balls. And if we can get all this burning, the rest of this wood's pretty dry. It should just be able to go on there and work. And this is just, it's a cotton ball. And I got some Vaseline on my fingers and just smeared it into the cotton. Works pretty well as a fire starter. Takes the flame real easy. Yeah, that's going quite good. Nice. I think we can just go straight to adding wood to that. start getting some bigger logs in. Okay, we are obviously going to need water. This is all I brought with me, both of these bottles full, and I've drank that much since I've been here. So we're going to need more than that. The plan for water is I'm going to melt snow. So I'm going to go scoop up some snow in my pot, and we'll add a little bit of this water to the snow to start, because that helps it go a little faster. And then as we get melted snow, I'm not even going to bring it to a boil. I'm just going to look for clean snow and then melt it. Once it's melted, I'll add it to my bladder here, and then get some more, and we'll just sort of continuously do that throughout the night. So let's go find some clean looking snow. Moon up above the trees now. It's full moon, looks like. Got fairly clear sky too, actually. Maybe we'll see auroras tonight. The snow right here looks all right to me. The main thing is not to get yellow snow. Right now, let's add some starter water. And we'll just go plop it on here. It'll take a little while, but over time we'll end up with a good amount of water. All right, well, the fire has really picked up in the last couple of minutes. I think we can definitely say we're going, making heat now, so let's get this door closed. It doesn't need the airflow anymore. This controls the damper, which controls how much air the fire is getting. We'll set it about halfway by now to start and just see how that goes. I know that because some helpful person wrote it right here. Wire basket handle out equals stove damper open beneath stove door. Thank you, person. I might not have found that without this.
Here is the zone forecast for Two Rivers tonight. Mostly cloudy with a chance of snow. Lows around 5 below. Light winds. Sunday, mostly cloudy. A chance of snow in the morning, then a slight chance of snow in the afternoon. Highs around 9 above. Light winds.
Okay, well, I can't make dinner until we have water. So, this is a good time to get bedding set up. It's good to get this going as early as you can anyway, because there's down stuff it needs time to loft up. So this is the pump sack for my my air mattress, but it also works as a dry sack, so I put all my bedding inside of it. Got my down booties right here. Let's change into those in a moment. But let's just put them aside for now. This is my quilt. Let's go ahead and get it out of the bag so I can start lofting. And I'm probably going to move to the upper bunk because it'll be warmer up there, but this one's bigger just to get everything out and set up on. Got a little air pillow, inflatable pillow. And then next up, this is a silk travel sheet. It doesn't need any time to loft, but we'll pull it out anyway. And then we've got some down pants. So I mentioned back when we started that I was a little cold when I started, and the general idea for this sort of activity is you want to be a little bit cold when you leave the car because you're going to warm up quickly as you're working. But you always want to have enough layers with you that you can stay warm even if you can't move. Like if you get stuck somewhere, if you get hurt and can't do the aerobic activity to keep yourself warm, you want enough static insulation to stay warm. So I have an extra down layer, top and bottom. These are my down pants, and I have a down jacket that's just on the other side of the room right now. And those are my emergency static warmth layers, but I usually use them as sleeping layers because if you get double purpose out of them that way, and then I don't have to carry as much insulation in my sleeping bag. Makes for a smaller lighter pack overall. Last thing in here is my air mattress. And this also has down in it, so it would be nice to get it lofting. This is the Xped Down Mat 9. It's an older model, I think. I forget what they call the current model of it. Ultra, something like that maybe. It's quite heavy and bulky, but it's so warm and comfortable. I like it a lot. I really actually like the inflation sack here. Fluff it, choke the top, bear hug it. It's quite quick. I've seen a lot of people, they try to do this. They try to fluff it and then close the top and roll it. And then they complain that that's really tedious, and yeah, that is really tedious. Don't do that. Do this. Fluff, strangle, squeeze. Fluff, strangle, squeeze. There we go. Air pad is ready to go. All right, moving up to the top bunk here. The way my little sleep system works here is air pad, and then the travel sheet, the silk sheet. And this is, if you've never seen one of the things, you can climb inside of it like a sleeping bag. But it just, it basically prevents drafts, or it cuts down on drafts when you're just using a quilt instead of a sleeping bag. And it also keeps your sweaty body off of the expensive sleeping bag. Then on top of that goes my quilt. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these before, but it looks like a sleeping bag, but it's not. You can't zip it up. It just lays on top of it. Has this area your feet go in. And you just drape it over you like a quilt at home. And don't forget the pillow. The other nice thing about this travel sheet is it helps hold the pillow in place. It has a little pocket for it. And then actually I've got this nice thick fleece neck gaiter. This is too thick for me to wear while I'm hiking. Kind of part of my emergency warmth kit. But it pulls double duty as a pillowcase, so that I can lay my face on this nice fleece instead of on this vinyl air pillow. So our first pot of water is getting pretty melted. So I'm gonna pour a bunch of this off, probably half of that off into the bottle, and then add some more snow. A couple little chunks of plant matter in there, but what do you expect? It's been about an hour to make that much, by the way, so this is not a fast process. But we have all night. I generally use my little backpacker mug to top up on snow. Take another scoop from right where we got it before. Probably get a couple more scoops here, but you probably don't want to watch me do that over and over, so. Okay, I've got enough snow melted that I can make dinner now. We're at 24 ounces, and then I've got my 16-ounce bottle that I'm drinking out of. I've been able to top that up once too. I just need 2 cups. I'm doing one of these freeze-dried spaghettis for dinner, so I just need 2 cups for this. So let's get the stove set up. You know, I just realized I need the pot I'm melting snow in to cook. Okay, we're gonna use the stove to hurry up and melt the snow that's in here. And then I'll pour it out. Oh, the camera was running. I think that just boiled over. I wasn't looking. I think it boiled over and put my stove out. You would know better than I would. Does that mean we have hot water? It's pretty hot. I don't know if it's boiling, but it's pretty hot. My striker might be wet. Stupid. Take the lid off so we don't do that again. Pour that into here. Seal it. Make sure it's good and sealed, because the next step is to mix it up, and you don't want boiling saucy water going everywhere. Now I need a 10-minute timer. And in the meanwhile, I can get more snow melting. I've been thinking, and I might actually move my bed down to the bottom bunk. It's quite warm up there. This thing right here is now showing above 70 degrees, but it, like I said, is warmer up high. Let's see what my watch says. My watch is showing 76 degrees, and that's the temperature sensor I've got right here on the wall. That is honestly a little bit too warm for me to sleep comfortably, so I think I'm going to move my bed back down to the bottom bunk. I didn't show earlier, but there is an outhouse here. Take a walk over. Light up. Here we go. It's pretty new. I'm pretty sure this entire cabin is a new construction. I don't know how old it is, but it can't be more than a year or two. Here's the outhouse. What are these about? Toilet paper holders. Some sort of fresh animal tracks right through there, something small. Squirrel or something. Let's grab another scoop before we head inside. There's an axe out here, by the way, and a snow shovel. Oh, outdoor thermometer too. What is she reading? 10 degrees. 10 degrees out here. Let's add that snow in. Take a peek at the fire. Probably throw another log on before too long. Getting a lot of plant matter in some of these scoops. I've been trying to pick it out before I transfer it to the bottle, but I don't get all of it. You know what? I realized I have a bandana with me. I can filter these little seed thingies out when I pour my melt water. So that's cool. Well, this is unexpected, but I just ran out of wick in my primary lantern. I noticed it was dying. Thought maybe it was out of fuel, and it wasn't. And because I thought, so it started burning the tip there, like as you can see. And that usually happens when there's no fuel in it, so it's actually burning the wick material instead of the fuel. So I checked the fuel, and it does have fuel, but the problem is that the wick is turned up so high that it's no longer reaching the fuel. So we just died. That's it for the lantern now. I don't have any more wick. Still got the candle lantern. Okay. This is still extremely hot. I don't think I can eat this yet. Flashlight. Let's give it a little stir though, and we'll let it cool. Wow, it's still steaming like crazy. Just cool enough to eat. Okay, dinner time. It's 11:30 at night right now, and unfortunately, the clouds have moved in. So unless the weather changes, we're not going to get any aurora tonight. Just put a new log on the fire. That thing is blasting the heat out right now. It's wild. So I'm going to stay up a little longer and hopefully we'll get lucky with the weather and the auroras, but it's not looking promising right now. Good morning. It's about 8 degrees outside. We did get some snow last night, so it dusted the deck up here where it was mostly snow-free. Still falling a little bit. There we go, you can see a little better. The camera adjusted a little bright. I let the fire die out around 1 o'clock last night, or at least 1 o'clock's the last time I put any wood in it. So it probably actually died around 2:30 or so. But even so, it is right now still 55 degrees in here. It's noon now, so this place does hold on to heat pretty well. Let's take a quick look around in the light. So here's our little dining table and our bunks. That's where I slept last night. I do appreciate that this bench is built to fit right up against the bunk here, so you just have like a extra wide platform to set stuff while you're laying down. The other bunk, that's where my sled stayed last night. Oh, here's a little shelf. I guess I'm calling it a kitchen area. I'm not really sure. And then here's our wood stove and our drying rack. So, it's about noon. Time for me to load all of my stuff back up on the sled, which will be much lighter this time because we're losing 50 pounds of firewood. But I'm going to get everything loaded back up and we'll start on the trail back down to the car. Here's how we ended up doing on water, by the way. Got both of my bottles full, and I've drank some already for the morning. And, oh, that's not sealed. I was about to say, we've got a little more in here. So we probably ended up with about 4 liters total till before I stopped melting because we didn't need any more. And actually I'm going to pour this out because just those 2 is more than enough. So really just the small one would be enough. We don't have that long of a hike. Liner gloves alone are apparently not good enough at 8 degrees. They're good enough yesterday when it was 20. These are just like waterproof liners, but they do have a fleece inner, so now I've got double layer fleece plus the waterproof shell. Alright, let's get back to it. Oh. Hey.
Thank you.
Didn't know you were behind me.
Oh, that's right. I thought you were filming us.
No. Didn't even know you were there.
Sorry.
All right, we're closing in on the parking lot right now. Sign for the road. And just through the trees, you can see the parking lot. Looks like those people who passed me on fat bikes are loading up their bikes right now. I'm not too far behind them. That was kind of funny because I was just filming myself walking. I turned the camera around just to get a shot of the sled following me through the forest. And they were probably behind me when I did that. I'll have to review the footage. I didn't know it. Okay, well, we made it back to the car. Ended up only taking about 40 minutes, so about half the time it took to hike in last night. Easy hike out. The only complaint I have is this thing really likes to run into the back of my feet on downhills. I can fix that by converting this into an actual pulk with rigid poles instead of ropes. And that's something that I want to do. I just haven't got around to it yet. Other than that, it was very easy to pull now that the weight's out of it. Barely even notice it's back there other than when it's, you know, rubber banding on the ropes. So I think I like traveling with it. I just need to do a little bit of an improvement to it. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.